Welcome to AutoFlat, your assistant to flat and manufacture sheet metal parts. This video will show you how to install, set up and use AutoFlat. Installation. You can get the latest version of AutoFlat on getautoflat.com. Here you can read about the AutoFlat, and get the 30 days free trial version by clicking I want to download free 30 days trial. Download and execute an AutoFlat installer. In the AutoFlat installer, please read the license agreement, then, if you agree to the terms and conditions, press Next. On the next screen, press Install. The installation program will check up for the latest AutoFlat version available, and check if your system have all the requirements to install AutoFlat. Settings. After installing AutoFlat, in Solid Edge Assembly environment, you will see the AutoFlat group in the Home tab of the ribbon bar. This group contains a drop-down button. First, let's go to the AutoFlat settings. The settings screen contains only 3 tabs: Flat, DXF and Assembly. On the Flat tab, please define the face to be oriented upward on the top view by selecting the method to flat the part. By largest internal or external face, then choose one of the neutral factor options, constant value. You can define the constant value of neutral factor between 0.0 and 1.0, not included. This will replace the neutral factor defined in the part to your constant value. By table, this option defines the neutral factor by Excel gauge table. This table must contain no material sheet. The sheet will define the neutral factor for parts that have no material defined, or have material that doesn't appear in the gauge table. So, if you have neutral factor values for your materials, please add this material sheets to the gauge table. In the gauge table, the units have to be millimeters, and the gauge name have to be the material thickness in millimeters. You can see the example gauge table in the AutoFlat installation directory, usually in C, Program Files, Solid Edge ST, Your Version, Custom, AutoFlat, Gauge Table. Also, you can use the table and change it. Please define your default gauge table in the Solid Edge. Go to the Application button, Solid Edge Options, File Locations, and choose the sheet metal gauge table file. The last option is Do Not Change Neutral Factor. This option will leave the neutral factor as it defined in your part. Sheet metal maximum thickness. This setting helps AutoFlat to get better sheet metal recognition results. If we would have some material block, 1-on-1, on 1 meter size, it could be 1 meter thick sheet metal. But usually, we don't use so thick metal in sheet metal production. So we can define the maximum thickness we works with. All the parts that AutoFlat will find thicker than this maximum, will be determined as non-sheet metal parts. Sheet metal minimum flat area. This setting also helped to improve the recognition ability of AutoFlat. In your assemblies, there can be a lot of small parts that can be recognized as sheet metal parts, but they are standard hardware parts, like nuts or washers. Usually these parts have small flat area, so by defining minimum flat area, AutoFlat will ignore all the parts that have smaller area than defined as minimum. Save the part if successfully flatted. If you don't want AutoFlat to change your files, set it to No. DXF tab. Choose if you want AutoFlat to produce DXF of flattened part or not. DXF creation method. Choose the method to create DXF. Folder to save DXF. Select how do you want the DXF files to be stored. Assembly tab. When you are working with assembly open from Parasolid, XT, or any other 3D CAD file, all the parts in the assembly will be PAR extension. If you choose to rename it, AutoFlat will automatically rename successfully flattened parts to PSM. If you want to replace the PAR files to PSM files in the assembly, check this option, and AutoFlat will do so. If you want to save the original PAR files, select No to delete original parts option. Now, just close the setting menu. The settings will be saved automatically. Okay, it's time to run AutoFlat for the first time. First, AutoFlat have to get the trial license file. Please fill in the form below. Fill your correct email, and click Verify. You will receive a verification number to your email. Copy this number to the verification number field. By pressing OK, your contact information will be sent to AutoFlat registration server. and you will receive the trial license automatically. Now, we are ready to use AutoFlat. Open the assembly you want to operate, and select the process option. Flat method. There is 3 methods to flat the parts. If your parts are sheet metal, use the Tri-Flat method. If your parts came from Parasolid, or any other 3D CAD file, but have a correct sheet metal geometry, equal thickness, use the Tri-Transform to sheet metal if flat fails. By selecting the third option, AutoFlat will try to repair unequal thickness of the part, then flat it. Now, let's select the task. Many times, when we open Parasolid or other CAD files, we will have a multi-body parts. This parts contains 2 or more parts in one. Select, Convert multi-body parts to sub-assemblies. AutoFlat will convert the multi-body parts to sub-assemblies, convert and flat, or just convert to sub-assemblies. Now, we are ready to flat. Press Start button. If you want the solid edge to be invisible during the process, you can hide it using this button. When AutoFlat finish, solid edge will appear automatically. You can pause the process. AutoFlat will finish the part it works with, then pause, resume or stop. When AutoFlat finish the work, you could see a detailed process report. That's all. Enjoy using AutoFlat, and if you have any questions, suggestions or troubles, please contact us at help@geomatrix.co.il.